What's up, everybody? It's my last day in Cabo. It's my 17th day here. This is my 4th different hotel. I've been all around the city. I haven't been to Cabo forever, and this place has changed so much. I'm almost seeing it again for the first time, and there's some things I wish I would have known before I came here. Critical things. And that's what I want to talk about today. What are the 12 critical things you need to know when you're coming to Cabo San Lucas? And it's not bring extra sunblock or wear a hat or anything like that. These are the 12 critical things you need to know that are gonna shape your trip. As always, let's dive right into it. Number one, Cabo is expensive. It is so expensive, at least as far as the two most important things, and that is the flights and the hotels. I was actually going to go to Cancun during this exact same time period. My flight to Cancun was $800. My flight to Cabo was $2,500. Same airport, same airline, same time, same seat, same everything. The flight to Cabo was 3 times more expensive. Moreover, the hotel rates here are insane. I think as a whole, Cabo has the most expensive hotels in Mexico. So if you're coming to Cabo, the two most important factors for your trip, the flight and the hotel, are expensive. Number 2, transportation from the airport. This one's so important. There are really 3 options that you have. Number 1 is that you can have the hotel pre-arrange transportation for you. Again, I stayed at 4 hotels. 2 of them, 50% of them, emailed me ahead of time asking if I needed transportation. I'm sure you could even call the other ones and ask for recommendations or ask if they had a service, so they can actually come and pick you up. Number 2, you can rent a car. I was surprised by how many people actually like to rent cars here in Cabo. It does make sense. There are a lot of sites and attractions outside the city that you may want to visit. And number 3, you can get a taxi. Now, the taxis are expensive. It depends on how many people are in your group and how far your hotel is away from the airport. But in general, a taxi from the airport to your hotel is gonna run you $50 to $90. There is one option that you're not going to have from the airport to your hotel, and that is an Uber. The local laws do not allow Ubers to pick you up from the airport. So if you land at the Cabo airport and your goal is to hit that Uber button to come get you, it's not gonna happen. Now, once you get into the city, Ubers are everywhere. It's a very economical and efficient way to get around. I use them all the time. There is a bit of a caveat though, and that is that Ubers are not allowed to pick you up at your hotel, and they're not allowed to drop you off at your hotel. Now, there is a bit of a workaround to that, and that is that the Ubers can pick you up down the street from your hotel. So if you walk down a quarter block or a half block, they could definitely drop you off and pick you up there. But if you're planning on getting picked up at the lobby and dropped off at the lobby, it's not gonna happen for an Uber. Number 4, the English language. English is very prevalent here. And compared to Cancun and Puerto Vallarta, 2 very other popular Mexican destinations for tourism, English here is much more widespread than those other cities. So if you're coming here and your Spanish isn't that evolved, or maybe you just are more comfortable speaking your native English language, you are going to be able to communicate very easily using the English language. Number 5, this one is so important, and it is the marine layer. The marine layer is a layer of clouds that you see typically in the morning. Now, for those of you that have been to San Diego or Orange County, it's the same type of phenomenon. You wake up in the morning, it looks gray, it looks cloudy, it looks overcast, and it looks like it's not going to be a very nice day. If you're coming to Cabo and you wake up and you see that, which is quite a bit, you may choose not to book an activity or go out for the day, and that would be a mistake because the marine layer is a phenomenon. Typically in the morning it forms, it's dark, it's cloudy, but by late morning or early afternoon, that marine layer burns off and it is a fantastic day. So if you wake up and you see clouds in the sky and you're not sure about booking your activity, more often than not later in the day, it's gonna get sunny. Number 6, there are different areas to Cabo. This one is so critical. If you're coming to Cabo and you're thinking Squid Row, the Marina, Cabo Wabo, Senior Frogs, all of that, that is what most people consider to be Cabo, Cabo San Lucas. That is the heart of the city for sure, but actually the majority of the hotels are outside the city. They're along the corridor, and they are also located in San Jose, which is about 5 to 10 miles north. Okay, so there are different areas to Cabo. If you want to stay in the electric heartbeat of the city, come to Cabo San Lucas. If you want more of a peaceful, serene, tranquil type hotel experience, then you may want to choose a northern place that's either on the corridor or up in San Jose. Number 7, safety. Mexican cities often have a stigma tied to them in terms of safety. There's always seems to be warnings from the United States government about travel warnings coming into Mexico. You always read, some horrible headlines about maybe some violence that occurred in a Mexican city. Safety is always going to be a concern when you come to Mexico or when you travel anywhere. Paris, London, New York, Chicago, Las Vegas. Anywhere you travel, you should always practice situational awareness and best practices when it comes to safety. When it comes to Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, and Cabo, I feel the most comfortable in Cabo. I think Cabo is the safest tourist city I've been to so far in Mexico. The marina area, the main part of the city, is so safe. I wandered around at all times, morning, noon, and night. And even outside the main part of the city is really safe. I walked on my own aimlessly a couple miles out just to see what it was like. And although it wasn't the most appealing part of Cabo, I was very safe. Do I recommend you walking alone outside the main part of the city? No. Should you take your family and venture out aimlessly? No. But just know that I did quite a bit, and I'm still here talking to you and telling you about it. Number 8, I think that Cabo has the best hotel game in Mexico. I think Cabo has the strongest hotels, the most luxurious hotels, the most elite hotels. So if you're about your luxury hotels, I think it's all about Cabo. Yes, you're going to have your Rosewoods in the Cancun area. And yes, you're going to have the St. Regis and the Four Seasons in Puerto Vallarta. But as a whole, collectively, when I take a look at the categorical elite luxury hotels, Cabo has all the other cities beat. Cabo has a LeBlanc, a Rosewood, a Thompson, an Aubergé, a Nobu, and a Ritz-Carlton Reserve. Ritz-Carlton Reserves are pretty much the best hotels in the world. There are only 6 of them, and they are only in the best cities. When it comes to elite luxury hotels, I think Cabo has the best hotel game in Mexico. Number 9 is so important if you want to have the best time ever in Cabo. All-inclusive hotels versus standard hotels. If you go to Cancun, I would say that 90% of the hotels are going to be all-inclusive. Puerto Vallarta, I'd say maybe it's 50, 60, 70%. I think in Cabo, probably less than 50% of the hotels are all-inclusive. So you need to really pay attention to what type of experience you want. If you like the all-inclusive hotel experience, then make sure you book one of those. But also, there is so much to do in Cabo outside your hotel. I think maybe more so than in any Mexican city. If you want to go fishing, if you want to go down to Squid Row and the marina, if you want an activity, if you want to venture out to some awesome local bars and restaurants, Cabo has pretty much unlimited options when it comes to nightlife, entertainment, food, dining, and activities. Take a look at your lifestyle, take a look at your trip goals, and book the hotel accordingly, whether that's an all-inclusive hotel or a standard hotel. Number 10, and this is another big one, Cabo is a weekend crowd. I would say Cabo is more of a getaway city than it is a destination city. I think if you're going for a week or two, it makes sense to go to maybe Cancun or Puerto Vallarta. But I think if you're looking to get away for 2, 3, 4, 5 days, it's absolutely Cabo. So because of that, because it is a getaway type of destination, Cabo is definitely a weekend city. So if you want to experience the best of the crowds and the energy and the nightlife and the action, I absolutely recommend coming over a weekend, Friday and Saturday. And what I have experienced is that weekend crowd usually comes in a day or two early. So if you want to come to Cabo for the best days, best crowds, best energy, best action, I'd say Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights are the nights to book. The dollar is very widespread and very accepted here in Cabo, even more so than Puerto Vallarta and Cancun. So if you have some dollars in your piggy bank and you want to come down here and spend them, you can have no problem spending them at a lot of the stores. Moreover, if you run out of dollars or perhaps you don't feel comfortable bringing a lot of cash with you, don't sweat it. There are a lot of dollar ATMs here in Cabo. In fact, there are more dollar ATMs than there are peso ATMs. If you feel more comfortable spending greenbacks, or if you want to leverage the purchasing power of the American dollar, you can definitely bring them down here. And if you need more, they are so easy to get. All right, number 12, this one is the most important. That's why I saved it for the end. This is going to shape your Cabo trip. It's going to influence where you stay, what you do, and even if you decide to come to Cabo or choose a different destination, and that is the beaches. The beaches here are definitely beautiful, but there is no beach game in Cabo, and that is because you cannot get in the water. There are stern no-swim policies throughout the majority of Cabo, and that is because the wave action is so rough, strong, and dangerous. So if you have this illusion of coming to Cabo, going to the beach, getting in the water, and really enjoying the beautiful Pacific, that needs to end right now because you're not getting in the water, and because you cannot get in the water, most people are not hanging out at the beach. It's all about the pool in Cabo. So if you're coming to Cabo, make sure you pick a hotel with awesome pools, not awesome beaches.